Is AI creating a generation of illiterate programmers? So this article was actually posted about a week ago. Today's the 1st of Feb, but it was only posted on Reddit in the Singularity subreddit a couple of hours ago. So I thought we could read the article and then look at what the comments are saying. So yeah, let's go from there. So a couple of days ago, Cursor went down during the ChatGPT outage. I haven't actually used Cursor coding. I'm guessing it's like another AI tool. The AI code editor for Windows, I don't know. I'm guessing it's not like a free thing. Well, there's a free version, 200 completions. Fair enough, but essentially it's an AI tool. It went down during the ChatGPT outage, so I'm guessing that means it's using the same sort of backend. I stared at my terminal. Maybe it's even using ChatGPT as the backend. I stared at my terminal facing those red error messages that I hate to see. An AWS error glared back at me. I didn't want to figure it out without AI's help. Understandable. I mean, to be honest, I think error messages is one of those things. It's like, it's so easy to just put the error message in like ChatGPT or whatever. Anyway, after 12 years of coding, I'd somehow become worse at my own craft. And this isn't hyperbole. This is the new reality for soft developers. I have to admit, I don't know about you guys, I do somewhat relate to that. I am trying my hardest to sort of force myself to think about doing some coding in my spare time rather than at work. But it's tough sometimes, you know. Other things get in the way. And also, actually, to be fair, the stuff I work on for my job is quite niche. So although some of the React stuff I do use ChatGPT for, there's other parts of the code base which I work with more, where it's just not useful at all. Anyway, so it crept up on me subtly. Oh yeah, the decay. First I stopped reading documentation. Whoever read documentation? The funny thing is, just when ChatGPT dropped is when I started feeling like comfortable enough to just do everything based on documentation. Before, I'd always looked for tutorials, and then sort of 2-3 years ago, I started just getting on with reading documentation and stuff and being comfortable. But now I find myself having not read the documentation for stuff for a while. So yeah, I can relate to that. I respect the honesty. Why bother when AI can explain things instantly? True. And as well, you can engage with it. So then my debugging skills took the hit. Stack traces now feel unapproachable without AI. I don't even read error messages anymore. I just copy and paste them. I think we're all guilty of this. Unless you're maybe a bit older, you might not be guilty. I don't know. I think anyone under 30 is probably guilty of this now. I don't know. I've become a human clipboard, a mere intermediary between my code and an LLM. I wouldn't go that far. Previously, like I said, some of the stuff I work on actually requires me to think. How dare it? How dare I have to think for my work? Previously, every error message used to teach me something. Now, the solution appears magically and I learn nothing. See, this is like laziness, isn't it? And I don't think that's necessarily like a bad thing. I know that there was this whole thing. This was years ago. I'm not even sure I'm going to find the article. Let's see if I can find. Let's see. Bill Gates. God, that is butchered with the dark theme. Fact check. Did Bill Gates say I'd choose a lazy person to do a hard job? There's no evidence. Okay, he never said that. So fake news from me there. Anyway, but yeah, I think people are naturally lazy, and when you have those days where you're just you've got a bit of you can't quite concentrate. It's much easier to do your job than actually have to with an LLM than when you really have to think about something. I also think it can feel less rewarding. Like when you could sit there trying to work out a problem and it's probably better for you. But that if it's a sort of generic problem, which most coding problems are, that ChatGPT, for example, I'll just use, or LLM, whatever, will just be able to instantly solve it and explain it to you, and then it's less workload on your mind. So deep comprehension is the next thing that was affected. Remember spending hours understanding. And actually, I just want to say, go back to this. I was never actually particularly good at sort of remembering everything, which is why I've always hated coding interviews. Whenever I have a coding interview, I have to start practicing again because I've always tried to only remember the things that were sort of useful rather than like specific details of a language. So, you know, we used to always just go on Stack Overflow and stuff, rather than remembering like every specific part of a language. Although I guess with errors, you can sort of, maybe it's a bit different. So deep comprehension is the next thing that was affected. Remember spending hours understanding why a solution works. Now I simply implement AI solutions. If they don't work, I improve the context and just ask the AI again. It's a cycle of increasing dependency. Yeah, I think I have done that as well. But I've also found myself in like a trap where it just can't solve it. In which case, then it becomes really frustrating to work on, and then you feel like you just have to start from scratch because everything it's given you is rubbish. But that's fine. I think comprehension's still important. So I still think LLMs are great for learning. Like, you know, I did a video yesterday on Friday actually, and some of that stuff after my video, I went and learned more deeply about the things in that article, and ChatGPT was great for that. So then come the emotional changes. Previously, it was part of the joy of programming to solve new problems. I can relate to that now. I get frustrated if AI doesn't give me a solution in 5 minutes. The scariest part, I'm building an AI-powered development tool, but I can't shake the feeling I'm contributing to the very problem that's eroding our collective skills. No comment there. So the rehab plan. I'm not suggesting anything radical like going AI free completely. That's unrealistic. You could do on personal projects though. Instead, I'm starting with no AI days, on 1 day a week where read every error message completely, use actual debuggers again, write code from scratch, read source code instead of asking AI. And to be honest, I still debug. Like, a lot of the bugs we get are quite horrible, and I don't always think. It depends how your code is separated as well. Like, because, you know, our code base isn't integrated with an LLM, so it doesn't understand all the different files and stuff. So if it's a bug that's like across multiple places, I can never even be bothered. Just solve it myself. So maybe I'm not too bad. I won't lie, it sucks. I feel slower, dumber, and more frustrated. But I can also see the difference. I feel stronger connection with my code and a sense of ownership, which had slowly disappeared with AI. Plus, I learn a lot more. The uncomfortable truth. We're not becoming 10x developers with AI. We're becoming 10x dependent on AI. There's a difference. Can both be true? Every time we let AI solve a problem we could have solved ourselves, we're trading long-term understanding for short-term productivity. We're optimizing for today's commit at the cost of tomorrow's ability. I'm not suggesting we abandon AI tools. No, of course that's not going to happen. But we need rules of engagement, blah, blah, blah. No AI problems that I haven't tried to understand first. I do think that's quite good. Yeah. Yeah. AI is mostly my first port of call, but not always. Read and understand all AI suggested solutions, regular periods of coding without AI assistance, focus on learning patterns and not just fixing immediate issues. I feel like, you know, reading this, it makes me almost feel like AI or LLMs almost. It's like a extension of the TikTok generation. You know, everything is quick and instant, and you don't have to think about things. It's like instant gratification. Is that the right? Yeah, instant gratification. It's all part of that same thing, and humans seem to be just addicted to that, like instant results. And to be honest, nothing wrong with it. Imagine a world where everyone could just build anything instantly. That'd be quite cool. Right now, somewhere, a new programmer is learning. Do you know what is crazy? I did a video. So right now, somewhere, a new programmer is learning to code. Something that I literally find insane is that I did a video a few years ago, which was just like Hello World, Python, like many people have done. And that video for me, I think it has like 90,000 views or something. but still every day it gets like 40 views maybe. And I just think that's so. It's sort of weird to me that we're in this age of AI and all these powerful LLMs and stuff and ChatGPT and stuff, and those videos are still getting loads of traffic. Obviously, I know 30 isn't loads, but think of my channel's not big, so think of all the other channels out there that are much bigger who've got videos like that are probably getting millions of views or hundreds of thousands. So problems truly on their own. They'll never know the satisfaction of solving problems truly on their own. I do appreciate that we sort of grew up before LLM tools with coding. I think it's good. I'd feel intimidated now, I think, coming into the space, knowing that like everyone can build stuff. We're creating a generation of developers who can. That's talking from like an employee perspective. It's like a junior. We're creating a generation of developers who can ask AI the right questions but can't understand the answers. Every time AI goes down, I think this comes down to yourself though. You have to always make sure: do you understand, or are you just accepting what it said to you? Because I think I'm quite good at knowing if I understand something versus when I've just been told something. Because you should always have questions, and if you don't know how to answer those questions, or if you can't explain something to someone, you don't really understand it. So it's kind of a good way of checking how fragile your knowledge is. So every time my AI goes down, they're exposed as increasingly helpless. As for now, AI isn't capable enough to replace programmers fully. I think this was the article I was actually going to read. Because I think this is a cheeky dig at what Zuckerberg said about that AIs are going to replace all the mid-level engineers. I'm guessing that would be in here somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, literally says it on the first line. So yeah, that's what it was. So we're creating a generation of developers who can ask AI the right questions, but asking the right question is a powerful thing as well, Try coding without AI for just one day. The results might surprise you. 1st of February update. This post resonated with a lot of the developer community. Yeah, cool. Check it out. I will try and leave this in the description. Sometimes I forget, but here's the blog. It's NMN. So going to Reddit, 40 comments when we started reading that. We're now at 48. I think that's enough to sort of have a look at what people are saying. So, just like we don't have blacksmiths anymore either, skills evolve over time. I know 4 blacksmiths, but I get the point. Hipster identified. Funnily enough, I was looking at a house recently, and I think the guy who lived there did a bunch of blacksmithing, but I don't think he did that professionally. Are they still called blacksmiths? Most people will call them hipsters. We will do the same with programmers in the future. There's probably already you're already a hipster if you actually write your own code. Let's see. And so it is that you, by reason of your tender regard for writing that is your offspring, have declared the very opposite of its true effect. If men learn this, it will implant forgetfulness in their souls. They will cease to exercise memory because they rely on that which is written, calling things to remembrance no longer from within themselves but by means of external marks. Plato's argument against writing. Surely against reading? I feel like writing would... I might be wrong. Which is written. Yeah, this is... I'm so glad people understand this. People just can't handle change. They keep complaining. First they complain about books, then they complain about TV, then they complain about video games, then they complain about TikTok. Truth is, yeah, but I complained about TikTok before it was cool. No, I'm joking. Truth is, no, I wouldn't judge. I know I never downloaded TikTok because I know I would just get I'd waste too much time on it. Already waste too much time on Reddit. Don't need another app to waste time on. So truth is, every generation is going to be something, is going to be different. Doesn't mean it's worse, just different, yeah. Yeah, and you can never know. I kind of do get the fear-mongering behind AI, but it's not going to be, I don't know. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's just written different skills for every generation, not good or bad, just different. Sadly, only a few smart people You and me understand this. Most people don't know what Plato said. The same thing about writing. I am very smart. I think we could put more energy developing other things, that technology and comfort. There's too many spelling mistakes all over the place. Unless comfort is a word that I do not know. I could be ignorant. No. Seems in this case I'm not. Evolution, I don't know why there's that either, means moving forward, but it doesn't say in which direction. Some direction are best to be avoided, while other will be more beneficial for our species and environment. Let's just go... We tried to do base level comments. Let's do that again. You might have already left by now. Fifth Industrial Revolution, but this one is digital, so it happens much faster. I think that's a fair take. It won't be... Yeah, I mean, robots are happening too. The world will always be divided between those that embrace new technologies and those that do not. I think where I come down on all of this is... It is such a cop-out answer, but like take it day by day. Sort of use the tools, get better, improve, keep being useful to people. Like when you stop being useful, then yeah, it does become a problem. But as long as you're useful, it's fine. I don't feel threatened that I'm going to lose my job to AI at all. Like I know for a fact that where I'm at currently, that won't happen. This, be on the right side. It's not easy. It gets harder the more you've spent a career honing a skill set. Watch. I feel like my brain died there. We didn't wait. I had a stroke. We didn't wait for AI to have illiterate programmers. The problem started when people decided to become programmers because this job is the job of the future. People with no talent in programming became programmers, and here we are today. This could be a fair point. Maybe a lot of too many people have chosen programmers because they have been told to become programmers rather than because they messed around with stuff and they wanted to do it. Most programmers don't need talent to do their jobs. Even talented programmers can end up doing nothing worthy of note at some GAFAM. I don't know what GAFAM is. Is that like the new FANG? Big tech. So what, it's going to be Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Meta, or I guess one of the app A's is wrong. Oh, Microsoft. But yeah, I hadn't actually heard this one before. Talented devs can be even worse than the team for so many reasons. I know one who gets fired of all his positions because of his character. He wants to modernize every workflow he comes across, refactor everything. Yeah, I mean, people who want to do this are just annoying. If you come onto a project and you first thing you want to do is refactor the code, then you're focusing on the wrong things. Don't be that person. That's my advice. Don't join a project and be that person that wants to... It's just insulting to everyone else who's there. If you want to come in and start refactoring code, you're saying that everyone else who's been working on this has been doing it wrong. And honestly, all code is trash. Best quote ever. All code is trash. As long as it works, it's fine. Calculators are creating a society of math illiterates. Nah, that's... I struggle because it's different, right? It is different. While I get his point and it's there to be exaggerated, I do understand what this post is about. Like, it is much more competent. You can basically speak to the thing and it gives you most of the known knowledge base. It's not the same as still having to put something in a calculator. And that's not maths, that's just calculations. Not really. AI is gradually transforming natural language into programming medium. True. Yeah, I think it would probably be a good thing. Problem solving can also be replaced by AI. Yeah, I guess that's the whole idea of what an agent is, right? You can imagine one agent, I know that's the buzzword, per like thing, and you have one person managing it, and they sort of just overlook it and make sure everything is okay. I'm actually surprised we don't have a unified programming language yet. I'm laughing at their response. Programming languages exist to solve certain problems. Also, I want to speak about this. AI is not a way to code. AI uses existing languages and tools that are useful, but like even there, it doesn't really necessarily. I mean, I guess you could ask it what's the most suitable tool, and it would tell you, would give you some options. But yeah, we still need to develop the tools as well, right? That's the other thing. You can't just stop with all the tools and now just use LLMs with the existing tools to build things. You still need the tools that AI will use. So, how standards proliferate. Situation, there are 14 competing standards. 14, ridiculous. We need to develop one universal standard that covers everyone. Situation, there's 15 competing standards. Yeah. We do English. This isn't as stupid as it sounds. I mean, I guess in the context of it's stupid, but like it's like the language of science is now English. I think that was Kaku, was it? Kaku? The language of science? I might be wrong. I always feel like I end every sentence by saying I might be wrong. I don't know. He has said a lot of things. I used to really love this guy when I was younger, but I've not actually kept up with him the last few years. I'm always getting distracted. Maybe you didn't say that. Let's use Google. Okay, you just said mathematics. Well, ignore everything I said. Although I do think almost everything in science is written in, I'm sure it's English, French, I don't know what the third language is. This isn't the at all. This isn't the at all. The last. And here come the lights. How math has struggled since the invention of the abacus. Oh noes. I use AI to create the AI. I use AI to help me code, but the problems I use it for are for things that are at the edge of beyond my ability to visualize or understand. We invented the calculator. Terrible example. Well, I don't disagree with like the premise. I do think I've always talked about the hype curve. You know, we're probably right at the top, and then it will settle, and that's where the technology will be at. But just because something has been a way previously doesn't mean that's the way it will be going forward. And while it could all be hyperbole, the one thing that could change everything is AI. So I do think AI could be different to anything ever created. But yeah, ultimately it's still just a tool, and we're still way off. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I don't know. Did I give my thoughts? I think so. Leave your thoughts below. You know, if I say anything wrong, this is me reacting live. So I will make mistakes. I will get things wrong. Yeah, so just, you know, take that into consideration. Anyway, take care.